Hal, thank you very much indeed for joining us, and Happy New Year to you. Chinese export growth, you say, will decelerate in 2025, with or without tariffs, but with tariffs will be substantially worse. Can you give us a bit more colour on how bad that picture would be?
Yeah, well, I think in the past couple of years, net exports has been the growth engine for the Chinese economy. And I think that is part of the reasons why, you're seeing huge capacity build up in the last couple of years in EVs and also in solar panels as well. So I think going forward, because of the impact from the tariff, I think net exports as a percentage of global exports will decrease because, the production center has been, reshoring, or, some of them has been reallocated to the neighboring countries. So I think net exports in 2025 would stop to be, the most important growth driver for the Chinese economy. But then at the same time, I think the property market still, needs time to heal. Even though we're seeing some tentative signs that, some of the tier 1 cities are having a transaction and price volume bounce back. But, it's very difficult to, see a national recovery in the property market. So I think it still takes time. So next year, because of the two of the most important growth engine for the Chinese economy is still sort of faltering, and therefore, the economy will be struggling as well.
And in terms of the policy response, does it mean that the Chinese authorities are going to have to try to engineer a weaker currency?
I think it more likely than not, Chinese currency would be one of the weapons, to defense against the tariff. Already we're seeing, the substantial depreciation pressure on the Chinese yuan. Now we're at about, 7.3. One shouldn't be too surprised to see depreciation depreciated beyond 7.5 and above. So I would say that, in the 2018 trade war episode, the Chinese currency, depreciated substantially. It actually acted as a buffer of the tariff pressure. So I would say, this time shouldn't be any different. And already we're seeing depreciation pressure on the Chinese yuan already.
Yeah, I have to note, though, that, the recent trend has been the fixings have been firmer. Right, so it seems, as my colleague Sam Vadas was noting, seems like they're trying to sort of hold the line at about 7:30 or so. Hong Hao, though, let's look ahead to the data dropping later this morning, though. The China private sector PMI factory numbers, and contrast them with the official numbers. The official numbers, they were a bit of a miss, right? Still above boomer bust 50, so that was good. What we noted, though, earlier, what we've been noting since the numbers dropped, though, has been services sector. That has been accelerating. How important is that? Because one, last I recall, services are a fantastic multiplier, even better than manufacturing, for job creation and employment, one. And it also has a knock-on effect positively, potentially, to consumption as well, no?
Yeah, we're happy to see servicing sector is doing well. All right, also the manufacturing sector is still expanding, even though it's a little bit less than expected. But this year, because the Chinese New Year is way ahead of the previous year, right? So it's happening in January. And surprisingly, this year, if you're traveling in the Chinese market, everybody is still working very hard for some reason, right? So, back then, 20 days before the Chinese New Year, people would start to, travel back to their hometowns and reunite with their families. But for some reason, this year, everybody's still working really, really hard. So it makes this year very different. And I think that is one of the reasons why we're seeing a very strong service sector number this morning.
Okay.
So what signs, as you see them, are there of recovery or green shoots in the Chinese economy? Where are we seeing it? And is China's economy going to be stuck? For how long is China's economy going to be mired in deflation?
Yeah, I think the deflationary trend will continue as long as the property market, stay in doldrum, or, and property price continue to fall. Green shoots, there are some, but very difficult to find. Just now I mentioned that, in the tier 1 cities, second-hand housing transaction volume has been picking up, and also price is increasing as well. In Shanghai, ultra-luxury apartments is selling like hotcakes for some reason this year. Transaction volume has picked up almost 50% year-on-year from last year in a difficult year such as this. So, there are some, really green shoots, and they look very interesting and peculiar for some reason, right? So you're sort of expecting the opposite should happen, in a year such as this. But, we indeed seeing second-hand property price picking up, transaction is picking up, and also ultra-luxury apartments sales is picking up as well.
All right, so somebody's got money. All right, Hong Hao, fantastic talking to you as always.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Keep safe and do it again very soon.
Yeah.
Hong Hao
Happy New Year.
from Grow Investment Group. Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you.